What you're about to see will shock you. This has already happened to Argentina and other countries. Look at what the IMF has done. We have gone down this same path. I have one question for the Bahamian people. When are we going to wake up? This should be shared throughout the Bahamas. Share the video so we can wake this nation up.
It all looked so good in the 90s. Argentina was the IMF's star pupil and did everything they asked. Free market reforms, privatizations. It even pegged its currency to the dollar. But the economy went into recession.
The people are hungry.
My husband is unemployed and I can't feed my children.
This can't go on. We have to obey the IMF.
So Argentina went back to the IMF doctor, who upped the austerity dose. It slashed public spending, it raised taxes and interest rates, and of course took plenty of IMF loans.
The key for Argentina is to get her fiscal house in order, get monetary policy in order. It'll all be done through the IMF.
Yet the cure ended up being worse than the disease. And the combination of cuts and taxes almost killed the patient.
Prescribing these fiscal spending cuts and cuts to the salaries of state workers and of the retired means that the economy is going to contract because there's going to be less spending in the economy. And so if the economy contracts, then fiscal revenues are also going to continue to contract. And so you're in a downward spiral.
It was a vicious circle. The government needed $22 billion a year just to service its debt. So the IMF loans were only prolonging the agony.
En los próximos 2 o 3 días,
in the next 2 or 3 days, we're going to work intensively with the IMF.
What followed was enormous capital flight and a run on deposits. And with its currency pegged to the dollar, Argentina had no room for maneuver, and it became insolvent.
I think following the IMF prescriptions has been part of the problem.
At $132 billion, it was the biggest default in history. You'd think this would be a salutary lesson. So why is the IMF prescribing the same to Greece?
There is a time under the sun for everything. This is the time to stand.